and welcome to the mini-series of Intuition Nutrition. I'm Jennifer Hill, and I'm here with Sheila Walsh Dunton. Sheila, you have this incredible website called GAPS Club, am I right?
Yes.
Can you explain briefly what GAPS Club is?
Yes. Thank you for having me, Jennifer.
Sure.
GAPS Club is it's an online resource for people who are going through the GAPS diet protocol. And just to give you a little bit of background is that the GAPS protocol is a protocol that was created by Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, who was trying to find a solution for her son who had autism. And she did some research and found specific carbohydrate diet, and that's kind of the basis of the GAPS research. And what that research is based on is that there's certain carbohydrates that feed pathogenic bacteria. So if we work on these specific ones, as well as maybe adding more fats and proteins, then we are going to be making, allowing the good bacteria to proliferate rather than the bad bacteria. And hence we're going to be cleaning up the gut. And it has proven to be successful in easing many symptoms of autism, as well as what the research, what really is interesting is that, toxins in the gut is toxins in the brain. So if we heal the gut, then other issues, more so than autism, can be healed. And so that's revolutionary.
So what does GAPS stand for?
Gut psychology syndrome, or gut physiology syndrome. And she created it kind of to work with autism, but what she found is that not only do toxins reside in the gut, but they also are in other parts of the body. And so it also helps with autoimmunity. It also helps with these simple issues that we just think are normal, but they're not normal. They're common. Such as, type like constipation or IBS, things that doctors don't really know what the root cause is. And so what this diet aims to do is get to the root cause, and by cleaning up the gut. Because as 80% of our immune function is in the gut.
The gut, exactly.
So.
And this has a personal story for you as well, right? You've
it changed my life completely, because about 6 years ago, I after the birth of my third child, I had beautiful home birth. Everything was great, and about 5 weeks postpartum, I got rushed to the ER with a uterine staph infection. So I was, and like 100 years ago, I might have died. Antibiotics saved my life. So, I definitely, Western medicine has its place, but I was hooked up for IV antibiotics for 5 days. And what that did was it killed off my bacteria, my good stuff as well. And I was susceptible to a superbug called Clostridium difficile, or C. diff.
Yes, I've heard of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's horrible. It's nasty. And you got online about 6 years ago, and it was, you're never going to be you're never going to be the same. People die from this. And it's when my doctor likened it to cholera that I knew I was in trouble, and the only thing I could do was take more antibiotics. But yet I couldn't nurse. I couldn't, and so thankfully, my sister, her husband had just been diagnosed with autoimmune, so she had started this research onto food as medicine, and she said, take a look at the GAPS diet. And I did, and I started it. I started making the bone broth. I started eating the fermented food, and it worked for me. And so that's where that inspired me to go back to school, just keep learning about food as medicine, and it just has, I feel so lucky that I found my passion, and now I'm able to share what I know, that food is medicine. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Isn't it Hippocrates?
Yeah, exactly.
Said, let medicine be thy food. So how do you help people? How could people be helped by what you have learned?
Yeah, well, what I did was I created a website to be an online support group. So it's an online resource where you can find information, and as well as be supported in a community. So I created kind of like an e-course where there's 8 modules that really walk you through. And because if people know about the GAPS diet, the one thing they know is that it is a little bit intimidating. And so that's where the information comes in, because the information is empowering. Once you know how to do it, then, these habits get formed, and then you're never going to feel better. It really has changed my life, as well as the lives of, I have 3 children, and they're not on like the the strict regimen. However, we use GAP. We're GAP minded. So we just when we get sick, we know how to get ourselves back to center. It's like, okay. I mean, every week I have bone broth going on. Every week, we have fermented foods every day and stuff like that. So
you really walk your talk.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I feel. Why it's so important to me and why I love my work. So.
That's wonderful. So so how would somebody know that they need to try the GAPS diet? What are some of the common issues?
Well, it's kind of those things that the nagging pains, it's like, like I said, the constipation or something, do you have an autoimmune disorder, disease? Are you just not feeling good? Something's nagging, you've gone to the doctor doesn't know what's going on. And sometimes those are things that not necessarily can be tested for because you really don't know. Or maybe it's a parasite from a trip you took years ago. Wow. And, now it's starting to show itself. And so what the GAPS diet does, it aims to kind of get your body back in line. It aims so that, and I think one of the biggest gifts of the GAPS diet is that you start to listen to your body. You start to listen to your innate intelligence that we are all born with, but we lose it. As we're like going to the doctor, tell us what to do. I have not been back to a doctor in 5.5 years.
Wow.
Because I have been able to basically manage on my own, just with food. And I do see I've gone to a naturopath once in a while, but I have not been to a Western doctor in that long. So.
Well, that speaks volumes for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So how could somebody get in touch with you? Can you tell us your website? And
Yeah. So I have my business is purplebeetnutrition.com, and that is my nutrition business. I'm in Santa Cruz, California. However, with my online programs that I'm working on, it's called gapsclub.com. So it's its own separate website. And so it's gapsclub.com.
Good. So that's for all of you watching out here. If this resonates with you at all, please get in touch with Sheila, because this sounds like it can be a real life changer.
Yeah.
At least it was for you.
Well, yeah, and one thing I didn't say is like I specialize in the digestive disorders just because that comes from my experience. However, this protocol was created because of to help with autism, and it helps with depression. So, and it helps with other issues that are going on with the brain, and that's really that's I think that the how do I say it? That just really resonates. I think everybody knows somebody who has been affected.
No, sweetie pie.
I got a couple of those.
Yeah, curious kids. And I just lost my train of thought. There was something I was going to say. Oh, it sounds like the GAPS diet would, I don't know, but it sounds like it would work for anybody with, is there any reason why people shouldn't try the GAPS diet?
Great question, and honestly, I don't see any reason why anybody would not. And it's like the protocol itself. It's food, it's detoxification, which is a big one, because you want to have something to do with those toxins to leave your body, and supplementation, like probiotics and cod liver oil and stuff like that. But so the protocol sheet is for 2 years. So that's the kind of piece people go, that's too long. However, I think do it for a month. Do it as kind of like a cleanse, but it's not a cleanse, but yet you will get those benefits.
Sure.
So, that's right. I think the principles of it are that you can do those, every season, for example.
That's amazing.
For a couple of weeks. Yeah.
So for someone like me, I'm vegan, and I can't stomach the idea of eating anything that comes from an animal. So how would I, if I wanted to try this, is there a way around the bone broth, or is that kind of an essential?
You can make a vegetable broth. Definitely, yeah, you can do a vegetable broth, and it would, you might not be able to get the deeper healing if because some animal products even because vegetarians, they can do it. Takes a little bit longer, but they're still eating the eggs with certain vitamins and minerals and stuff. But I definitely think there could be some benefit for sure. Because and it's same you're pretty with the vegan diet. You are eating clean. There are those similar principles that are no processed foods, no sugars and stuff like that. So that's where they're similar.
Good. Awesome. Well, Sheila, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer.
Such a pleasure to have you. Yeah. And just to think about you in Santa Cruz, California is making me a little jealous because it's starting to get cold here in New Hampshire.
I know, we were at the beach this morning. It's like 70s. It's gorgeous.
Stop it! All right, well, thank you, and thanks all for watching. Please get in touch with Sheila, and you'll learn so much more about gaps.